enjoy the transition, because it's like a reborn.
Ah, interesting.
And I think British have that.
Yeah, we do have a great sense of humor.
I think that you go far if you have discipline, but you can keep the discipline if you like what you do.
So if you take something away, something
exactly.
new will come in.
Exactly. He put me in context of life, in context of...
He put me in context. I love that.
And the photographer says, Silvina, you have to be a model, because in 5 minutes I have the photos. And I said, why not?
I carried guilt around about that for years. And then when I let it go, I was like, oh.
I said, well, I don't have time to color my hair.
Wow.
No, this doesn't work. And I said, okay, I have to create this. If I don't die in that, I can do it.
And this woman, I'll never forget it. This young woman, she looked at me and she said, in my culture, being happy is not even a consideration.
You will find another way. And the way is to find a way.
That is exactly the definition of confidence.
With time and dedication and something you want to do, if you want to do this, you can do it.
What advice would you give your 9-year-old self? Silvina Neder is a force to be reckoned with. Well into her 50s and with the most amazing flush of beautiful grey hair, she is vibrant, courageous and brimming with infectious energy. Basically, she is everything we are told that ageing is not. And I am dying to talk to her about how she has reframed the ageing process to turn it to her advantage and become an entrepreneur in the middle of her life. If you, like me, are sick of the ageing is bad narrative, then this is the episode for you as we dive into an unfiltered discussion about maintaining vitality, creativity, and productivity at all stages of life. Let's welcome Silvina Neder to the No Filter Zone. Silvina, welcome.
Thank you, Jo.
I've been so looking forward to this conversation, mainly because of your energy. Like I watched you on Instagram and I thought, she's got so much energy. And then you arrived earlier on and I was like, yes, here she is. Have you always had that much energy?
Yeah. Usually I do. Sometimes when I'm angry, it's the other side of me.
You go quiet, do you, when you're angry?
No, I go crazy. I would say anything
even
to
more
anyone.
energy.
Yeah,
Okay.
more energy. You won't like to be near me. But it goes immediately.
Where do you think you got that energy from? Like, is that just an instinct in you? Did you copy? Was it modeled for you by your grandmother, your mother?
I would say that both my parents were hard. They are alive still, but they don't. Of course, they are retired. They were hard worker and they were passionate about their professions, and they changed. They did new things. So I think I grew up in a home where everybody has had things to do. And we were encouraged to do sports, to learn, to study, to bring back good qualifications.
Okay. So that life force, that energy, that vitality was encouraged in you.
I think it's the family.
Yeah.
It's the family.
Well, and also it must be like your South American roots, right?
Yeah.
Because there's that, you called it Latin-ness in you before. I'm interested, before we get into grey hair and your amazing products and stuff, what's it like being a Latin person living in England, in the UK, where we are less fiery, shall we say, less expressive?
It's
some of us.
It's fun, and I think it would be more fun to someone seeing the stories, being from those sides, but watching. For example, now I'm used to, but when I came here, I struggled a lot.
Yeah, tell me what you struggled with.
Oh, it was horrible because I worked in marketing before and I joined an agency in order to improve the language and to get used to, because it's so different. And I was used to say things as they were. For example, if I was at work and my boss showed me something to present to a client, I said, no, I don't like that. And he was like, and they fired me.
For being outspoken,
no, I
for
don't
telling
know,
the truth.
Because I didn't fit. It was like I said things,
Wow.
no, I think we can do this, we can do that. And they were like, oh.
How long have you lived here?
I lived here for 9 years.
So have you noticed a difference? Like, have we, as a British culture, have we progressed a little bit in terms of our openness emotionally, would you say?
Very nice question. I think yes, with all the conversation that is happening on social media, that people are being more open, that people are encouraged to talk about their problems or their concerns, and for example, also being more conscious about mental health, like that. I think yes. It's still very different from Latins, that we are very frontal and we don't care about saying anything. But, well, no, it's not that we don't care. We do care about the feelings of the people we have in front of us, but we don't think that the other will be annoyed if we say something. Yeah.
Because it's part of the culture. That openness is part of the culture.
Yeah.
You know, you said to me before we started filming that, I'm quite Latin in my openness. It's an instinctive passion of mine to have real conversations with people. And I'm just naturally really curious. I want to know like who you are and where you came from and what motivates you, anybody. And we were chatting to Oleg, who's, looking after the cameras, and we're asking him questions because there's no Latin in me as far as I know, but I've done some DNA stuff and I can't see any Latin in there. For me, what is the point in being alive if we're not going to be wholehearted?
Exactly.
About it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but also there are things that I like here as well, that, for example, you don't have to explain things. For example, if you have a meeting with your friends and say, no, I'm not going. Okay, fine. If you are in Argentina, say, oh, why are you not going? No, because I'm working. I know, but you can finish work and I can help you. I know, but I can pick you up.
So there's a social pressure to
God,
always be on.
It's so difficult to say no to anything.
Okay.
It's more convenient, let's say. But also you miss the warmth of the people.
And what about the warmth of the weather? Because,
I don't mind. I like it. Maybe it's because of menopause.
Yeah.
Because I'm always hot now, but I don't miss the heat at all.
Okay.
At all.
If you were to say 5 differences between life in Argentina and life here in the UK, what are the 5 stark differences? We've talked about culture. So what else?
Well, I would say that all the differences have to do with culture. Because it's so different how people, for example, take the rules. Here, people follow the rules, which is...
We're so compliant.
Yeah, so compliant. There is totally the opposite. No, you don't need to do that.
Okay, yeah.
You can park here. You park. It's like that. It's more... And I think...
More rebellious, maybe.
Yeah, and I think that following the rules makes life easier.
Interesting. So what commonalities do you see between the two cultures?
I think there's something in the humor, in being ironic.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the
so that's
irony...
an Argentinian thing as well as
very much.
Great.
Very much. And I think British have that.
Yeah. Oh, we do have a great sense of humor. We really do.
Yeah, I like that. Okay. Very much.
Let's get on to your hair, which quite frankly is awesome.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, I kill for hair like that.
I used to hate it when I was a teenager.
It's funny, isn't it? How we always hate the things and we think we want what other people have got. And your hair is amazing. At what age did you decide to let the grey and the white?
Well, when I came here...
out? So 9 years ago. So what age were you then?
9 years ago, I was 47.
Okay.
9 years since I was 47. Yes, I came here. I always thought that gray hair was elegant, smart, stylish, classy, but I didn't dare because I lived in Argentina until my early 40s, then I lived in Spain.
You didn't dare? Why?
In Argentina, well, I was telling you, I was single until my 44th, and in Argentina, women have to look young.
Oh.
I don't know. It must have changed. I think it changed something before, since I left. But at that time, you have to look young. For example, when I had people coming from abroad and went were at the places I used to go in Buenos Aires, and they saw my friends like 45, and oh my God, they are amazing because they look 30 something. All the women are very thin, with the straight hair, big hair, all like that. So I thought I would love my gray hair, but I didn't fit there. Buenos Aires is a massive city and it's open but still has that Latin things that women have to look young, men are more like who, I don't know, have the power by that time, which I didn't follow that, of course, but I didn't, I thought, but I didn't do it. And when I came here, I said I joined an agency and I didn't have time. I struggled with time with the work. I used to work by myself, and then I had a boss, I had workmates, and even when I was going to cross the street, I looked that way. I know I had to look that way. Yeah, everything was different. And I said, well, I don't have time to color my hair.
Wow.
And I also thought that London is so free. Everyone can be whoever he wants. You can wear whatever you want. I love that. I absolutely love that. That people don't care. You can wear a monkey in your head and nobody will look at you. I love that. And I say, well, this is my time.
Okay. So you were 47. What color had your hair been? Had you been dyeing it?
Brown, dark brown.
So a dark brown?
Yeah, dark brown.
And what was that transition period like from letting the brown grow out to revealing this stunning grey and white now?
For me, it was quite fast because my hair grows very, very fast.
Yep. Okay.
But it was so interesting and so beautiful. I would say there are a lot of women who are going through the transition to grey. And I always say, enjoy the transition because it's like a reborn. It looks like it's something like aesthetic only and a color of the hair, but it's more than the color of the hair. Actually, on my website, I have written a roadmap for a successful grey transition that people can download.
I love that idea.
Yeah, silvinalondon.com.
Okay.
And if they subscribe, they can download it because it's a total experience. And it was one day that I decided. I was thinking for ages and ages and ages, and it was so hard to keep the hair proper when I color it, when I keep my gray hair. Because in 1 week I had the roots in my face.
Yeah.
So it was really, really tough.
So it's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job, and you have to plan the colorings around your meetings or anything you have to do, or a holiday or whatever. And probably the day before you go on holiday, you have to work and you cannot be caring about coloring the hair. But the last thing you do is book your appointment with the coloring. Really inconvenient. Inconvenient or inconvenient? Inconvenient.
Yep. Yeah, that's the right word.
Sorry for my English.
Your English is amazing. It's much better than my Spanish as well.
I still have to, not to think, but to slow down. One day, when I started working here, I wanted to book an appointment for my coloring. I said, oh, you have to book like 15 days in advance. 15 days in advance, I don't know where I will be. And 15 days in advance, I have to book the other because I have to do this every 15 days. So I say, I'm done. And one day, I was working from home and, I took my computer and went to the hairdresser to color my hair. And I was working there. And my boss called me, Silvina, can you jump into a video call? No, I can't. I have all the color in my hair. And I thought, oh my God, I am risking my job. And this is so inconvenient. It was 15th of September, 2015.
Wow.
And I said, I'm not coloring my hair anymore. And the worst part is when you have a little bit like that, because it doesn't show that you do it on purpose.
Yes, it doesn't look like a decision. It looks like a lapse.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
I used something like a temporary, like a spray, something like that, for the first, like that. And then I started researching in different colorists in London, if I could bleach the rest. And some say, no, it will ruin your hair, it will damage the hair, and also cut it short. I didn't dare cut it short. I wouldn't have mind, I think. And time passed, and I had like like more and more and more. And I look in the mirror and say, oh my God, this is so silver, so healthy, so shiny. I loved it. And it was so smooth compared to the dry, bleached hair or colored hair. So it was a time when I say it was like 2-3 months, okay, I leave it. I started cutting it, and in 9 months, I had all my gray hair.
Amazing.
And I love it. And something I always tell people is that for me, it was, and for many women who went gray, who made the transition, it's something that changes in your head. The decision is made. And I remember that I used to dream that I colored my hair. And in my dream, I said, okay, I will start again. Okay, oh my God, I have to start again. Okay, I will start again. But when I woke up, I was happy that I haven't colored my hair.
Right, the relief that you didn't have to do that.
Exactly, but I never doubt. I never have any doubt.
Do you think you allowing your natural colour to come through was part of a stage of life, like you were stepping up into a new version of yourself?
Definitely.
Okay.
For me, it was not only letting my gray hair grow, it was like stopping hiding something of me, my age or the color of my hair, hiding something of who I was. And I remember in my early 40s, I used to do botox. I was super fighting to look younger. And now I don't want to look younger. Of course, I want to look good. I want to stay
healthy, all
as
of
fit
that.
as possible.
Yeah.
Without giving up many nice things. But I don't want to look young.
What is it, do you think, that drives this youth obsession we live with? Because it's not just here in Argentina, it's the Western world. We are obsessed with youth. What drives that? Do you think it's the patriarchy? Like, what is it?
I think there are many things. I think it's marketing, that brands and company promoting for younger people. Now it's changing, but I think once the market was segmented and brands or things began to be done for younger children, the younger children didn't want to grow up. They didn't need to grow up to have a watch, to have anything. They don't admire older people anymore. They have their own parameters. That's one thing. And the other thing is something more deep. I am thinking in a loud voice. Maybe I am saying something silly, but I think we all fear of death.
It's definitely.
So the older we are, the closer we are.
Closer we are to death, right?
Yeah. And it's normal. And I think we have to embrace that and not fighting against the physical things that we experiment, like trying to enjoy or see the things we can gain in that process, and knowing that it's inevitable.
So I'm 51, I'll be 52 in July. And I've been saying for the last 20 years that my life keeps getting better the older I get. And I realized maybe, 10 years ago, that I was afraid of aging. And I was afraid of it, not because there was death at the end, but because I'd picked up this message somehow that I was going to be less of a person as I got older, that I was going to be less significant or have less attractiveness or impact. And actually the opposite experience has been true for me. Now, I think some of that is mindset stuff, but I was sold this idea that aging is bad. And I'm like, aging is great. You care less what other people think. You become more of yourself. You become so much more relaxed in who you are. On the inside, where it matters, I feel freer and freer and freer. Do you relate to that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally relate to that, but I would say that I was not, I didn't have that thought that aging was bad that much. I always admired people or older people.
Okay.
Like, for example, my father. And, for example, I used to have a shrink in Argentina. He was my shrink when he was a shrink, you say, right?
Yeah,
like a
psychiatrist.
psychoanalyst. When he was in his 80s.
Mm.
And he was a wise man because he was a psychoanalyst,
yeah.
Sociologist and biologist.
Wow.
So he analyzed the things from the psyches, but also from the social point of view and the
biological point of view.
Exactly.
As well. Wow.
And he changed my life, saying, don't be silly, don't care about that. All the other women say the same, or all the people who sat there, do you want to hear what other people say? So he put me in context of life, in context of...
He put me in context. I love that.
Yeah. So I admired him. I admire also my father used to tell me a lot of, for example, I did this wrong. Don't worry, you will make mistakes. You will make so many more mistakes that don't worry about that because you will make so many more.
Oh, well, mistakes are how we learn.
Exactly. So I started to be more relaxed. And after 40s, late 40s, I think I am more relaxed. And I don't care. And I let myself say, for example, okay, I couldn't do that. And so what? Who cares? I am very, very I push myself to do things, to achieve things, for example, in my work, now that I have my brand, I say, I should have sold this amount of units. I should have my new website by this time. Well, I cannot do much more.
Yeah. Let's talk about your brand. So you had this kind of awakening in your late 40s. So not just a physical awakening, but an emotional, spiritual awakening. Oh, I am hiding bits of myself and I want those bits to come out.
I gave up botox. I gave up high heels.
Yeah, nice. Golly, we all gave up high heels in the pandemic. None of us have gone back, I don't think. I tried some on the other day. I can't think where we were going. We were going for dinner somewhere, some event. And I put these heels on and I was like, nah. No. My legs are like, no, not having those.
Not only I feel I look ridiculous.
I know, my feet don't like them. So yeah, no, not doing those again. So you have this awakening and the emergence of a new woman, is upon us. But you're not just, but you changed careers, didn't you?
Yeah.
And what was that in your 50s?
Yeah, in my late 40s. When I grew my gray hair, because I was working in marketing, consumer insights, and when I moved here, when I used to have my own consultancy when I was in Argentina and then in Spain, and I had some clients. And when I came here, I said, okay, I will join an agency to know how
it's done over here. Yeah.
I struggled a lot because the industry has changed a lot from the typical market researcher with surveys and focus groups to artificial intelligence, to big data. And I was kind of old school. And also, I had worked in that for 30 years. So I think I was wanting to do something different. And my passion was to motivate people. For example, if you know how to do, I don't know, anything, well, make a living on that. There are so many possibilities out there, and now with the social media, with the internet, you can do anything. And I like to be independent. I like to design my job and decide. And I love people to be independent, to be able to make decisions, to be able to push themselves further and make more money, or have or be more happy, or do whatever they want. So I wanted to do something to motivate people, to help people make a living on something, like found a business or start going independent. But I couldn't shape it. There was so many things going online, so many courses and coaching for starting a business that I couldn't shape it. And when I grew my gray hair, everywhere I went, people say, I love your hair, I love your look, I love your hair. I took some photos from my market research website, and the photographer said, Silvina, you have to be a model, because in 5 minutes I have the photos. And I said, why not?
I didn't know this about you. So you became a model.
Yeah, I did a lot of commercials for, I don't know, a lot of things. I came home, Googled gray hair models. I didn't know that. I thought the models were those on the runway, like 20 years old, 180 centimeters tall. But I Googled gray hair models and a lot of agencies popped up on my Google. And I said, okay, I sent the photos. That was a Tuesday. On a Sunday, I was working.
Never.
And I started posting on Instagram. That was 2016, more or less 16.
Instagram was very young then.
Yeah, very young, and they were not gray hair women, lots of gray hair women. So I started posting about, I was totally gray by that. And a lot of women started to write to me, like, hi, Silvina, I want to go gray, but I didn't dare, but you showed me that you could look great. And I started, as I was going through that process of changing or accepting, I started, for example, posting a quote and writing on my thoughts about that. I started to have a lot of followers. So I said, I am doing what I wanted to do through my Instagram, like inspiring people to there, to go great, to there, to change their job, to there, to...
Okay. So had you given up your traditional job at that point and you were modeling? That was your source of income?
Yes.
Modeling.
In a couple of months since that happened, that I booked my first job, I started to be booked.
Yep.
And one of my clients called me, Silvina, I'm so sorry, because from the headquarters, we have to work with X agency, which is a global agency. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. So I thought, great. I pressed delete on my website. Okay, I have all the time to model, to make an acting course and whatever. Yeah, and I've been doing that for 7 years.
I see. Okay, we'll come on to the acting course. But you have a product. Now, when did Silvina London get born?
Well, when I grew my gray hair by that time, 2016, 17, more or less, I had my gray hair. And it was very difficult to find a good shampoo or a good hair care because there were the blue shampoos, any from the cheaper to the most expensive, very expensive, and they all dried the hair. Very, very dry the hair. And also, if I used it 2 days in a row, my hair had like blue tones.
Yeah.
So I had to be, I was using one and then switching to another shampoo, which was more hydrating. And I said, but I tried all of them. Even I ordered online from the US, I couldn't find anything good. At the same time, a lot of women on my Instagram asked me, Silvina, what do you use? Your hair looks great. Well, I was trying and switching and trying, and I had like 20 bottles on my bathroom, on my shower.
That sounds like most women, yes.
Yeah, like I use like this, and no, this doesn't work. And I said, okay, I have to create this.
So, okay, how do you even do that? Like, where do you start?
Because I didn't know anything about the industry at all.
I wouldn't know how to get a product from my head to boots.
Well, I worked in marketing for...
You did? But that was market research.
Yeah,
though,
market
right?
research, but it was support to brands. So
Okay.
I worked for brands. But what I knew, my specialty was consumer insights. The market research was, why will you buy this brand? Or what is your concern? What is your problem? What this brand, any product can do for you. And all of the women wrote to me in what happened with the gray hair. They were so happy. They were going through the same discovering that I've been through. So I said, this is lovely. This is amazing to give these women something. And I started researching, looking on the products. Okay, where this is made, and it's very difficult to find out the manufacturers,
the heritage and stuff, right? Yeah, okay.
Very, very different, and nobody tells the manufacturer. But I persisted, and I found manufacturers, and it took me 4 years.
Then did you go to a manufacturer and say, I want to create a shampoo and conditioner brand for grey hair that's not going to make it go blue?
Exactly. Not going to make it go blue, natural, mostly, at least 90% natural, that can be used on every wash, that the pigments are not chemical, pigments are natural, and it's hydrating because my hair is so dry that If I, for example, if I go to a hotel and I use, even if the best
Yeah, I'm
hotel
the
in the
same.
world, and I use the shampoo, it's like Spongy Bob.
Spongy Bob.
Don't know if it's popular. Yeah. So I wrote a brief of what I wanted, but the main barrier I found was that all the manufacturers used to did like 10,000 units, the minimum quantity, and I couldn't afford that.
No.
And I wouldn't have known what to do with 2 rooms of shampoos and conditioners. So I researched it, and knocked doors and tried to connect with one people with another in the UK, always in the UK, because it was Brexit at the time. So it was not easy if I found something outside the UK.
That was the difficult time, wasn't it, for trade?
Yeah, but I persisted, and well, I found one, but then we couldn't work together. And then I had a business plan written with the idea of the brand, with the target of the brand. Why?
And had you any investment at this point?
No, not at all. And I found a factory they say, well, our minimum quantities would be 5,000, but we are happy to do for you 2,000. So I said yes. And we started working on the formula.
So do you then, sorry, I just want to get into the nitty gritty of this because it's so fascinating. Do you then have to pay them like an upfront amount of money for that research and development process?
Yes.
Okay. And then, and do you pay for all of those bottles up front as well?
Yes.
Or does that, so you give them a shed load of cash?
Yeah. And I had to find a manufacturer for the bottles, because the bottles is the same as
the
20,000.
Made there. Yeah,
everything is 20,000, 10,000.
Right. Okay. So you're paying all this money up front on an idea. You go into the R&D phase with this company.
The R&D was this factory that I found. They did the R&D first, and then when we started the test, I paid for the production.
So they were happy to kind of wing it a little bit and experiment
with
the
R&D is not the most expensive. The most expensive is the production and the packaging and the website and the permissions.
Sorry, I've interrupted you, Silvina, but did you go to the factory and do all the research and development with them?
No, they do. They have.
But they tell you exactly what's in it.
They send me everything they get to. They send me all the.
I mean, that's an amazing process.
The samples, yeah, and it takes a lot of time.
But exciting, surely.
Very exciting. I say that. Well, I launched in December 2022. December 2022, more or less 1 year ago. Knowing nothing, I did the website myself. I used photos that I already had because I didn't have money. I put all the money in the physical things. I'm doing everything.
So what stage is that business at now?
Well, now we are doing the second production. I say we because my husband helps me a lot, helps me with the packaging and everything.
So is it all in your house then, and you're sending this?
Not all the bottles, but we dispatch from my house. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Proper kitchen sink, kitchen table business.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's done in a factory and we have a storage.
Sure.
But we bring boxes to home and then we
send it out to people.
Yeah. And we were lucky because we were going, as the business plan was nice and the brand was attractive, I always convinced logistic company, fulfillment company to send the things. But I didn't know if I was going to sell 1, 2, or 1,000. And then they didn't want to use some boxes that I wanted to use because I want the pack to be very beautiful, to put the 2 bottles of shampoo and the conditioner in a box that I designed. They say, no, if you don't have more than 200 orders per month, we cannot use your packaging. I said, no, I don't want those big boxes with brown paper, don't look nice.
So you'll do it yourself.
We'll do it ourselves. But and it was the best thing that could have happened because we learned a lot.
Right.
Yeah, we learned a lot and we put a note.
I was going to say, you're then in touch with your consumer.
Exactly.
And at this stage of your business, that's amazing because you're not going to be able to do that in 10 years' time when you're selling umpteen products.
Exactly. And I know my customers. For example, the other day we did a promotion with a discount. And my husband helps me. He says, Silvina, she buys this, but she didn't use the discount. And I said, okay, it's a client. She bought for 5 times in a row. I said, okay, did you know that you have the discount and you didn't use it? So we're in touch with the customer.
So she can get that discount next time.
Yeah. No, I made the discount.
Oh, you made it.
Yeah. So very, very close.
And you're gonna miss that when the business grows.
Absolutely. And exactly like that, I met Maxine Dunkley from Absolute Collagen.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Maxine has a massive brand now.
She does.
And we talked about this, and she said, "You know what? I miss that.
I bet. Yeah.
I miss that. I have a big team now, and I miss that, doing everything.
Yeah.
Because I wake up every day, and I don't know where the day will take me.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the plan for Silvina London? Are you planning on selling in boots?
I wish, definitely. But it's very hard to go to retailers. My plan, I go step by step. And I think it's...
Okay, what are the next plans then, rather than the...
Next plans, now we are working. I have some people who are helping me with the website and all, because I didn't know anything. And I did the website, I did the mailing with the DNS. I watched videos in YouTube to set up all of that. And I have a mess in the back end of the shop.
Yeah.
And I have people like putting that in order. So
nice.
My aim is to work better, to be easier to find on Google, to be easier to appear on Google searches, which is not easy at all. To be everything all right. And then hopefully we can start doing some advertising on Facebook. We want to nurture the database we have of the people who have bought, of the clients. I want to offer people, for example, the guide to make the transition. Then we are working, I say because I talk to other people. No, and I talk to other women who are great, who have gray hair as well. I want to offer like a diary, because when you go through the transition, it's nice to keep a diary. I didn't do that, and I regret it later. So like a diary, they can record everything, like adding value. And I will launch like a fortnight series of emails. For example, it will be called Embracing Gray Hair, Stories of Empowered Women.
So nice.
And I will tell the stories about these women who went gray, but they found
who they were, or a new version of themselves.
Exactly.
There's a book in that, Silvina.
I hope so.
And the longer term plan for the brand?
The longer term will be now it's starting to found in itself.
It's growing roots, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a lot of money, everything. So even I sell, everything goes back to the
I've been
running
at that stage
of
with my business. Yeah.
I have some other products in mind that I'm testing, and I am researching packaging and everything. And also, what I want to do is to keep the product with the quality, with the best quality, and be the choice for the people who have gray hair. Like ensuring to people who have gray hair that these products are great for them. Like making that for sure.
So what are the price points for
the
shampoo and conditioner?
Is 27, 2050 mils, and the conditioner as well.
Okay.
But if you buy both, it's 51.
Okay, so there's a similar, because I use a Vida, I think, conditioner. Similar. And it's a similar price there. So there's similar quality of
It's a little bit lower, I think, than Olaplex. And I have a lot of customers who said it's better, much better than Olaplex.
But you said to me that when you met me earlier on, that because I'm like so blonde, like a white blonde, that I could use your product as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it will look amazing.
Yeah, so, that's a message to get out there as well. It's not just for people who are grey, it's these very, very light tones.
Exactly, because it will take the brassiness, like that yellow tone that you don't want on your blonde or grey hair. It will take it off, but it's blue, the shampoo. The pigments are naturally derived from blue gardenia. So you can use it as many times and in a row as you want. It won't make your hair blue.
But I mean, those of us who do dye our hair still, like me, I spend a fortune on this. So I want to put something decent on it to maintain it in between every 6 weeks, going and having it coloured.
Yeah.
So whether you're grey or my colour, it's you want something decent. What advice would you give to women in their 50s, or people in their 50s, but women particularly, who want to transition careers from maybe, a corporate day job scenario to some entrepreneurialism? Like, what advice? I know you've got your modeling, which is probably your bread and butter money, and it's given you the opportunity to create this brand. But what advice would you give to people?
Well, I think the main thing I learned when I changed from market research, even though I had my own consultancy before, so I had been an entrepreneur before, but I had a career in market research and I had a name, and then I started modeling from scratch. What I learned and what I think it's paramount to be able to do that is to let the other things go.
Why is that so important?
If you hold to the things you know, or the things you do, or the things you always have done, or the career you have, or the path you have, if you hold to that, you will never be able to make a change. The most important thing I had to do is like, okay, I have a name, I have a career of almost 30 years in market research. Now I don't have anything. And a lot of people, I faced a lot of people. I'm not scared to doing those changes because I measure the risks. For example, I say, okay, if I don't have money for 10 months, okay, I can't live for 10 months with some savings that I have. I measure that. If I don't die in that, I can do it. So measure the risks because nobody wants to. I don't know how to say it in English.
You don't want to car crash your life completely.
Exactly. But once you have done, well, risk. If you don't risk, it's impossible. And let go. I heard a lot of people telling me, Silvina, but you did an MBA, you studied statistics, you know a lot, you have a career in market research, you work for this company, da, 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 da. Okay, but I'm not happy. I want to try this. If I could do that career, I can do anything new as well.
That is such a universal law, though, that the universe cannot cope with a vacuum. But if you take something away, something new will come in.
Exactly.
But we as people have to have the courage to let go of the old, like letting go of the old color of your hair, and this new amazing person is born, letting go of the old career, and like suddenly you've got your own product. I mean, God, I could speak to that in my own life. Like there's so many things I've had to let go of, friendships that have been very toxic, but I've been so loyal and I've clung on to them. And when I finally let go, beautiful new friendships come in, or older friendships. It's suddenly come back into my life, and I think, why was I clinging on to guilt from the past, about leaving my children's dad. I carried guilt around about that for years. And then when I let it go, I was like, actually, there was no point in that. And I actually have an even better relationship with my children, having let go of that guilt. That's such a universal truth, Silvina, that we have to let go, and allow the new version of us.
And what's the point, for example, my case with the career, like having all these degrees and having all this career, and being known for this in these companies or whatever, if it doesn't make me happy?
No, what is the point?
Yeah. If I finish the day like, okay, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. So I was doing an introduction to psychotherapy course late last year, just to add some more skills to and strings to my bow. And there were a lot of younger people on the course, which was brilliant. And when we did these little sort of bits of working together in smaller groups, I was chatting to a lady and she was raised in China.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking about the sort of narrative I give my children about do what's going to make you happy, and in terms of your career, and the salary will come as a result. Kind of but go with your passion, go with what's you. And this woman, I will never forget it. This young woman, she looked at me and she said, "In my culture, being happy is not even a consideration. Like we're taught to, and I'm sure she's not talking on behalf of all of the Chinese people.
Yeah.
But she was basically saying, I was raised that I have to be of service. I have to earn lots of money. I have to look after my family. I have to. She's like, you've blown my mind that there are parents out there saying to their children, go and do what makes you happy. But to me, that's like, it's obvious. If I'm happy, I'm giving my best to this world.
Yes, definitely. I never had in my mind like doing something I don't like. When I did marketing, I loved it. When I studied statistics, I loved it, and I thought it was the thing to follow. But still, a job is a job. So you will have your ups and downs, and you have to make a massive effort. Because, for example, as I said, now with my brand, I wake up happy because it's like raising a child. But I have my moments that I have to deal with 5 things at the same time, or things that
and the accountant.
And the accountant, and for example, like things you don't want to learn. For example, I had to learn about packaging, about things that I'm curious. It's okay, but still,
that's a steep learning curve.
And it's discipline a lot. It's a lot of discipline for any job. I think that you go far if you have discipline, but you can keep the discipline if you like what you do. If you don't like what you do,
yes,
it's so tough.
It's
so
really,
exhausting.
really tough.
So exhausting.
Yeah.
And I think we live in a world where the parameters are super high for anything. So we have to put a lot of energy. And if you don't like what you put in the energy, oh my God, that's really bad.
You are passionate about encouraging other women to do
what
like. You've done, what they like. And there was it said on the brief that you were you offer guidance on maintaining, and here's what it says: physical health, mental acuity, and artistic expression well into later life. Let's just talk about those 3 in order. So the maintenance of physical health in later life. Well, not later, midlife. We're not in later life, are we? Midlife. What do you do to maintain your physical health?
Well, don't tell me, because I'm not in my best weeks, because
well, we all go up and down, Silvina.
I have a lot of pains that I didn't have before. Like I said, I am feeling the same pain in my legs when I run a marathon. When I finished a marathon in my 40s, the pain was similar to now, because I did 2 Pilates classes, and I said, why is it hurting?
Pilates is hard work.
Yeah. Probably I don't appreciate that as a hard work compared to other things, but it is.
It's the strength work though, isn't it?
No, but I think you have to adapt. For example, I used to run. In my 40s, I ran 2 marathons. I used to train. I used to run like 60, 70 kilometers per week. And now I can't.
Right.
But when
did that stop? Because I still run. I ran 8 miles this morning and I'm like, when's that going to stop?
No, I stopped when I had an injury. I had a pain in my hamstring, and I had to stop. And I also, when I moved here, because I lost a lot of weight. Because London is about walking. Doesn't matter if you take the tube. You have to walk to the stairs and back. And I was working. I was like, I didn't have time to eat much, and I was moving.
I've never forgotten to eat, Silvina.
No,
I don't get that.
Me neither. But at that time, I was so overwhelmed with the job, with the language, with that it was too much. So I said, no, I cannot run. And I discovered yoga, and I loved it. I'm practicing yoga since then.
Okay, so that would be maintaining physical health.
Exactly. And I think, like, as we say, the universe cannot bear with a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So if you cannot run, something else will happen. And I discovered yoga, and I thought, yoga is for all ladies. It's like very easy. Imagine, I was used to run.
It's hard. Yoga's hard.
Oh my God, it was hard, and it's so good. And I at the beginning I was like, oh myself, what these people are doing, like chanting, and now I love it. I love it. I think you have to let go. I couldn't continue running because it
was hurting.
And give time to the new things. Give time, because if you continue, it will how you say, flourish.
Okay, so the maintenance of physical health is about finding what's good for you now.
Exactly. What is good for you now.
Mental acuity. So I'm thinking your mental acuity must be off the charts because you are, learning so many new things at the moment running a business. That's like a Sudoku puzzle on speed every day that you're doing.
Yeah.
In terms of encouraging others, what would you say?
Sometimes I am surprised of myself. I'm not like praising myself, but sometimes I am surprised. For example, when I had to solve something with the DNS, I didn't know which were the DNS
That's
at all.
That's a website term, right?
Yeah,
DNS.
Something like the website, something technical. And I watched like YouTube videos and I say, okay, I have to touch this. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I said, okay, I will copy from here. And now I have a technical, I say, Silvina, is a mess in the background, but it worked. But it made it work.
So learning new things.
Yes. And I'm surprised. I didn't used to be like this, like persistent. Okay, if I have to do this, when I start the day, I don't know how I will do it, but I find a way. Sometimes it's too much, but I think it's rewarding when you can do something. It's in the process is tough. Sometimes I want to cry.
Yeah, and throw things. Yeah,
exactly. But you learn that. I learned that with time and dedication and something you want to do, if you want to do this, you can do it.
Do you think you've become more patient as you've got older? Because I definitely have.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The thing with the mental acuity as well, that has just struck me is there's something about staying open to new experiences and not thinking, well, I am this person because this is who I was when I was 25. It's like, I am definitely an ever-evolving tapestry. I'm sure you are the same.
Yes.
So it's about keeping our minds open, I suppose, the mental acuity.
And I think we don't have option now because everything changes so fast.
Oh, my life.
I did during the pandemic that I was, my Instagram account grew because all the women couldn't go to the hairdresser and they went gray and they were looking for inspiration to go gray.
Of course.
And I had an interview with a guy, a very nice guy, who said, Silvina, how do you see, talking about my modeling and my Instagram with the gray hair, whatever. And said, Silvina, do you think you will be doing your job in 10 years? And I said, that's a lovely question. And I don't know. I don't know because I don't know what will happen. Maybe we have like AI models and holograms and I don't know.
And that's okay.
The thing is that I know that I don't know. And I'm open to, okay, what will I have to do?
See, my specialism is confidence as a coach. I'm a confidence coach. And so many of my clients are trying to pin down the future. They want to know what's going to happen because they think that that's going to give them confidence. And I'm like, no, what's going to give you confidence is getting okay with the idea that life is uncertain. If I'm all right that I don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow, like I've got some plans for tomorrow, some clients booked in, and I've got to go and see the doctor about a dodgy mole I've got and all the rest of it. But, that might not happen. I might not get home tonight. My train might be cancelled. Who knows? And I'm okay with that. It's like, life is doing its thing and I have to roll with what's coming.
Yeah, and everything changes. Like, I come from a country different from here where it's a poor country compared to Europe, for example, or the UK. And you don't have anything for granted. They are from the government, from...
Right.
You have to build your things. So I'm used to like caring about the future, like trying to save or whatever. Things change and we are seeing so many changes in the world, in politics. And what about if you have a war and you don't have your home anymore, that you save so much and you pay the mortgage? And okay, you will survive. You will find another way. And the way is to find a way.
That is exactly the definition of confidence is, I know I'll find a way. For me, that's the definition of confidence.
And it's true that, that I'm very confident, but I have to remind myself because sometimes I worry. I am worried. I can't sleep because I say, oh my God.
Yeah. But you know that there's a deeper truth.
Yeah. And I think it's an exercise that I do. I come back to moments when I was in a very difficult situation. I say, okay, I went through that. I did that. I survived. I didn't care. I lost my job and okay, I found something. I will find something.
Pain has always been my greatest teacher.
Exactly.
Artistic expression in later life.
I think that, well, I studied something hard like mathematics, statistics, but I think that when or myself, when I find something creative, I can immerse in that. And I think that if you create anything, it doesn't matter what it is, but something that you like, it doesn't matter, writing, drawing, painting, dancing, putting your plants, that's something creative, something, I don't know, aesthetic or nice. For example, during the pandemic, all the castings and the shoots stopped one day to the other. I was busy, and one day to the other, nothing happened. And I didn't know for how long it would last. First weeks, I was like, so depressed, like, oh my God, what will I do? And then I studied, okay, what I like. I like, for example, graphic design. I don't know anything. Okay, I will do a little course online and I learn little things.
Yeah. So again, it's that staying open. I've got one more question for you before we finish. What advice would you give your 9-year-old self?
Be yourself. Don't listen to the people who want you to be this way. Follow your dreams. Continue working. Work hard. Study. Go deep into the things you love.
And what advice would she give you now, that 9-year-old?
Tell that to more people, to more girls.
Because?
Spread that. Because I didn't know that when I was 9.
And if you'd known it when you were 9?
Oh, probably I would be, I don't know. Maybe I would be in that village. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I probably would have suffered less from trying to fit in the model, to fit, I had my hair like that and all the girls were like straight, blonde. And
and of course we all wanted to have hair like you, so be yourself. And we do have a responsibility as women in the middle of our lives to tell women of a younger generation that what's in them, what's unique in them, is so important for this world, and that's the light they need to shine. Silvina, it's been such a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Talking
for
to
me
you
as well.
Thank you
talking to you, Jo.
Yeah, it's been really lovely. Thank you for your time.
I promise I will go and visit you.
Yeah, you come to Bath.
Yes, I will.
Lovely to talk to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If you want to hear more from amazing women like Silvina, then don't forget to like, comment and subscribe so that we can grow this channel and bring you more high quality guests with their amazing stories. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.